Where are you from?
BBC.
Okay. Here's another beauty.
It's a good line. Impartial, free and fair.
Yeah, sure.
Mr. President.
Just like CNN, right?
On the travel ban, we could banter back and forth. On the travel ban, would you accept that that was a good example of the smooth running of government?
Yeah, I do. Let me tell you about the travel.
Were there any mistakes in that?
Wait. I know who you are. Just wait.
The news conference itself was extraordinary. There was nothing planned on the diary, and I was actually at home trying to finish a book, and I suddenly saw a flash saying that there's going to be a news conference at the White House, and I went, and I thought, there's something odd about this. So I thought, I'm going to queue so I get a decent seat, so I may be in the president's eye line so that I can get a question. So I was queued up in the cold for ages, and I got a very good seat, and sure enough, put my hand up. He says, you. I start to ask a question. He says, who are you? Who are you? I said, John Sopel, BBC News. BBC, another beauty. And I said, well, I think we're free, fair and impartial. You know, and suddenly I realised that I am bantering or answering back to the President of the United States. Now, a few years ago, if you'd said to me I was ever going to be in the East Room of the White House at a news conference with the President, let alone answering back to the President, I'd have thought, that's preposterous. And yet it is necessary, and I felt it was right, because I thought that, you know, this was a news conference called to attack and demean and diminish the news media and what we're doing and the way we go about it. And I thought, actually, you know what, I've worked for an organisation which by no means perfect, but is a good organisation, and I thought, no, I'm not going to let this stand, that the fake news tag.
Honestly, I think Mr. Trump has a love-hate relationship with media. He hates failing New York Times, but he calls New York Times when he wants to spread his agenda. He doesn't call some fringy outlet which is madly in love with him. So that's a very, very, how would I put that rightly, it's a very complicated and complex story. And I do think that American media helped Mr. Trump to become a nationally recognized political figure. So in that sense, I do feel that's not part of my story. I am a foreign media, and I'm not his priority. I don't have such a deep relationship with Mr. Trump's White House.
It certainly makes it more challenging, but because of that and because we are being challenged, I think the only solution is work even harder and dig even deeper to get to the heart of the issue. On the other hand, I keep hearing in news reports and also in actual human rights organization report right now that the media in the United States is under attack. Well, I can certainly confirm that there's stuff going on, and life as a journalist has become a little bit more difficult. However, I've been a reporter in China and the Far East for 7 years as well. I can tell you it's hardly China here, it's not Russia, it's not Turkey. There's certainly stuff going on, but I think we still live in a country where the press has a freedom to report on anything and everything that they deem important. So in that sense, I'm certainly not worried yet.
It is difficult because it's someone who is in a position of power saying that your job is worthless or bad or immoral or wrong or fake or made up or whatever word you want to use. So it's hard not to take that personally. We're all professionals, you know, we trained for a long time, we're experienced in what we do, and to have someone say that it's fake just because they don't agree with it is difficult. I found it particularly difficult during the campaign, actually, sometimes to be at Trump rallies, and he would incite the crowd in such a way to encourage them to turn around and face the media and scream abuse at us. I've never encountered that before. It doesn't happen in Europe, to the best of my knowledge. It definitely doesn't happen in Ireland. People don't have to agree with you, but I've never seen people be abusive to the media like that before. And now that Donald Trump is the president, it's literally being led from the top down, and we've seen these new terms introduced to the English language like alternative facts and fake news, which don't mean what the words mean. So that can be very challenging, but you know, again, it's the job of a journalist to be the eyes and ears and to rise above that.